Today, we're going to create a page with all kinds of scraps that I have on my desk. The most useful reason for having an art journal to me is because art journaling heals. It helps us get out of our head and not pay attention, whether we're in pain, mentally, physically, emotionally. Underneath here, I took a pencil and I sloppily wrote down my feelings for the day. And again, it's just a pencil. It's probably not legible. I write down on my journal page in a very loose way. So I hold my pencil kind of like this and I just go. If I write over things a couple times because I still have more to say, then I do that also. And then I like to transform it. I like to turn this into something beautiful. All those feelings that we have that we feel like we don't want to associate with, write all that stuff down, and then I start creating a page. I'm beginning with this hotel key card, a little bit of gesso. You could just as easily use white paint as this, and I have this little dot of color, which is quinacridone magenta. Magenta is pretty much one of my favorites. And I'm just gonna scrape all this together just to get a base coat down. I actually like some of my writing to show through. If it does, I just use this as a background right here. And then I have these pieces of paper that I made on the no jelly plate. Actually, people are asking how I use them in my journal, so I've kind of cut out this little section that I kind of really liked the patterning here, and this one I also thought was interesting. Now, if you look, can you see on camera how shiny that actually is? This paint tends to be a little shiny. I prefer no sheen, so I'm thinking what I did is I ripped around here because I like the unfinished look, the unfinished edge. The reason why this is going to work, turning it upside down, it might not be as bright or as vibrant, but this will disappear. The white parts will sort of disappear as I glue this. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. I'm going to glue this one down first with my Liquid Chex matte medium. I am going to glue back here. So this is just my first piece. I try not to think too much about these things, but when I saw this, it reminded me of some roads. So in my angst that I wrote about underneath this page, I have some decisions to make. So this sort of reminded me of some choices I could possibly make. So I'm just going to work this way and this way. Now you can see that the orange does show through. Not closing my book until I'm sure this is dry so I don't glue pages together, because that's sort of a disaster. But if that happens, you just rip them apart or figure something out. Now I found this little piece which I thought might tie things in a little bit, so I'm going to actually put this one down. Now this is a pretty good start. Maybe there's something here. I found this. I tried to tear this up because I kind of like that torn edge look, and then I realized I'm not going to get the whole thing torn because I was kind of close to the letters when I cut these out. And I'm going to put the word joy somewhere in the middle of my page because I sort of feel like joy sums me up today. I wanted to change that into something joyful. I found these black circles. I've decided I'm going to put those down. None of my pages would be complete if I didn't put a little black on the page. This is how simple these pages can be. This is basically what I wanted you to realize. How easy this could be. If you had papers already made, this page could take you 5 or 10 minutes to complete. Other than the writing. The writing might take another 5 or 10 minutes depending on if you're mad, how much you're writing, I guess, or angry or upset or any number of other things you might be if you have a lot to say or a lot to write. I do not worry about the wrinkles in the page if they don't come out. It's all part of the beauty of what we do. The imperfections make our art ours. I'm using my Uhu glue stick to stick down the letters. I have this piece of paper underneath so that any spillover won't make my pages stick together. In a perfect world, I would have torn this edge or tried to in this edge, but since I couldn't, I'm really not going to worry about this. I'm going to let this be exactly how it is. I feel that as I look at this page, this expresses joy to me right here. The colors, everything about it. I'm going to use my black paint right out of this is Bone Black by Golden, but any black paint will work. And I'm going to just fill in down here. I wanted to emphasize the roads here as I thought of them. So just a little black paint. This road clearly leads to joy. I'm hoping I choose these roads when I make my decisions later. I wanted it to remind me of confetti, to see the celebration maybe. I have a little bright green here. I'm going to mix it with some water to make it a little drippy. I'm going to load my brush up. I'm going to use another brush. Now I have one more thing I'm going to try. This is a little Daler-Rowney fluorescent pink acrylic ink. A little too much there, so I'm going to just take my rag and wipe some of that up. So I'm going to leave that, let that dry, and I'll show you what this looks like when we're done.